Grand Rising, beloveds. My name is Melissa Tuff, and I am one of the spiritual practitioners here at the Center for Spiritual Living, Cape Coral, and it is my great honor and privilege to provide you with today's meditation. And I'd like to begin with a quote from Albert Einstein. He was known for his wisdom as well as his scientific genius, and he speaks of interconnectedness of existence in an excerpt of one of his letters from the New York Post in 1972. A human being is part of the whole, called by us the universe, a part limited in time and space. He experiences himself, his thoughts and feelings as something separate from the rest, a kind of optical delusion of his consciousness. This delusion is a kind of prison for us, restricting us to our personal desires and to affection for a few persons nearest to us. Our task must be to free ourselves from this prison by widening our circle of compassion to embrace all living creatures and the whole of nature in its beauty. And so I invite you to find a comfortable position on a cushion or a chair or lying on a bed or a floor. Wherever you are, find yourself in a comfortable position. Make sure your phone is turned off so that you can remain undisturbed. And so we begin by checking in, by taking a few moments to arrive and settle in by bringing your awareness into your mind and body. Acknowledge how you are feeling, express gratitude for it, and let it be. Gently allow yourself to shift to mindful breathing, being aware of breathing in and out. To manipulate the breath in any way. Just breathing in and breathing out, allowing your breath to flow normally and naturally. The air you are breathing in is the same of your neighbor, of the tree out in the yard, of the bird perched on the wire, of the dolphin in the sea. You do not beseech this air to breathe life into you over another. It's simple as it just is. This is the natural flow of life, of your life, of the collective life. And now shift your attention to where you're seated. Bring your awareness to the connection of your body on the chair, cushion, bed, or mat, and feel its connection to the floor. Reflect on the connection to the floor and of the floor to the building you're in, and the building's connection to the earth farther below. Let your awareness include the earth below you. Feel that sense of being held by the earth below you, and just allow yourself to be held by the earth. Layer by layer, imagine all of the things that naturally exist in any given moment that support and nurture you. Physically, emotionally, spiritually. As you bring to mind these layers of life and love which sustain you, note how they are always there, never asking for anything in return, never imploring you to do or be anything other than just who and what you are. You are in a safe space, fully supported, always provided for, and you can breathe in and out with ease in your body and mind. Feel how the earth rises up to hold and embrace you. There is nothing more you need to do, nowhere you have to go, and no one you have to be. You are just being held in the heart of kindness and love. And now bring to mind someone you would hold this way. Reflect on your loved ones being held by this same loving kindness the earth provides to you, with safety and ease of body and mind. Reflect on how the earth holds all beings, whether they are acquaintances, strangers, or difficult people, with no bias, no discrimination, no separation. Reflect on how this earth holds all beings, forsaking none, whether they be as small as an ant or as large as a blue whale. Acknowledge how this earth does not exist in a vacuum. It is connected to a solar system and a vast universe. We are all interconnected. Our bodies in the earth, the sun and the stars, they are all composed of the same matter, the same basic particles joined in different ways, vibrating at different frequencies to create a vast array of forms. You are comprised of stardust. Under the microscope, your blood contains the same particles as the sun, as the earth, as the moon, as the stars, as the vast ocean. Feel that sense of connection and interconnection, that we are all made of stardust. Feel that sense of being home within your body and mind, with a of belonging and connection. Return your attention to the breath. Just breathing in and breathing out, feeling the grace and support of this universe. Uni meaning one. Acknowledging we are merely part of that one. Individualized expressions of that one. Knowing deeply and profoundly there can never be isolation nor separation. Feel that sense of connection and interconnection. Acknowledge it and make it welcome. Be at home in There is nothing more you need to do, to get, or to push away. There is nowhere to go, no place to be, but right here, right now, in this present moment. Imperfectly perfect as you are resting in the heart of the universe. And as we gently begin to bring our attention back to the room, becoming more aware of the sounds, the smells that surround you, acknowledging your connection to all of that. Becoming more aware of your body wherever you find yourself. Reflect on this connection you've experienced during this meditation And know that you can step into that space at any time by simply breathing and remembering your connection to everything and everyone around you. In this space, let well wishes form. I'm going to share an affirmation, and I invite you all to repeat it the second time around. May all beings here and everywhere dwell with peace, love, and abundance. May all beings here and everywhere dwell with peace, love, and abundance. And I would like to leave you with a couple of Ernest Holmes quotes. All the power of the universe is within you. Feel it, know it, and then act as though it were true. I am guided by the same intelligence and inspired by the same imagination which scatters the moonbeams across the waves and holds the force of nature in its grasp. And so it is. Thank you all for joining me for this morning's meditation. You can either continue to stay here in the sanctuary in this interconnected space, or you can step out into the foyer and mingle as our Sunday celebration service will begin at 10:30. Namaste.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone. And welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living in Cape Coral. We're so glad you're here. For those online, welcome in, welcome in. What a weekend here. We're celebrating so many things. We just got done on Friday with the singing bowls. Those were beautiful. How many of you in here, let me hear you, were on the singing bowls? Awesome, awesome. I don't know about y'all, but I'm a little tired from interpretive dancing last night, right? Reverend Chris doing? Yeah, looking like Mick Jagger. You were doing good, dancing around. It was wonderful. And we also have something very special going on since last Thursday. We have reverends in training. We've been actually hosting them. So let's give them a good big round of applause. Welcome, welcome. The other thing we want to welcome, it's most important to us, is thank you to Phyllis and Patty for beautifying our bird feeder garden on Earth Day. I tell you, we got so many good things going on. Our 50th anniversary is next weekend. So exciting. All right, but without further ado, let's welcome in the one, the only, they need no introduction, the Big Love Band.
Well, we have some guests here, so CSL Cape Coral, let's show them how we rock on Sunday morning. And I think we all know this one by now, right? My religion is kindness, my church is nature, my God is a feeling, lives deep inside, my job is to be conscious, my path is forgiveness, my religion is kindness, and I practice it every day. Everyone has a story, everyone has pain. When we strip away our masks, we find we're really all the same. It's those little things we say and do that can mean so much. It's a smile, a connection, a simple loving touch. My religion is kindness, my church is nature, my God is a feeling, lives deep inside. My job is to be conscious, my path is forgiveness, my religion is kindness, and I practice it every day. Today I'm gonna ask myself, what more can I do to be a radiant child of God and let my love shine through? I'm gonna let my heart be my guide to give the best of me. I'm gonna share my joy, share my love, give it boundlessly. My religion is kindness, my church is nature, my God is a feeling, lives deep inside. My job is to be conscious, my path is forgiveness, my religion is kindness, and I practice it every day. Every day. Blue sky. Come on. Jack and Jill went up the hill to fetch a pail of water. Then Jack fell down and broke his crown, and Jill came running after. She said, Jack, tell me, what can I do to help ease your mind? He said, hold my hand and just be kind, and I know I'll be fine.
My religion is kindness.
My church
is nature.
my God is a feeling, lives deep inside. My job is to be conscious, my path is forgiveness, my religion is kindness, and I practice it every day.
Every day.
My religion is kindness, and I practice it every day.
Every day.
Okay, I think next time we have something like interpretive dance, you guys gotta be the people that do the music, because you guys have got everybody moving today. That's wonderful. Love that spirit. Reverend Chris, did you have something? No. Oh, okay. Well, we ready for the blessing? All right, let's go. Okay, let's warm up here. Welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living. We know who you truly are. You are the spiritual image and likeness of God. We appreciate you, we love you, and we are thankful you are here. Welcome to the center. Ernest Holmes is the founder of our philosophy, and we teach the universal truths found in all spiritual teachings, both traditional and contemporary. Please visit our website, cslcapecoral.org, for information on upcoming events, submit a prayer request, or to send your comments and questions. And I am so excited about this upcoming weekend to celebrate 50 years of CSL. That's exciting. Thank you, a big, big thank you to Melissa Tuff, who is holding high watch during this service. And Melissa is maintaining the high consciousness through meditation, realizing wholeness for the community, and highest and best for attendees, service teams, and guest speakers. Now, I know you guys are all going to be excited about this. Today is potluck! Yeah! So everyone, come on in, enjoy. And even if you didn't bring anything, stay anyway. It doesn't matter. We've always got it. Somehow, some way, there's always enough. Woo. You ready? Take it away, Big Love Band.
All right, so this one is another one of my favorites. And we are kind of piggybacking on last week's theme and bringing it into this week's on affecting change, bringing change, I guess not affecting change, bringing change with those little ripples. Have you seen the way a pebble skips across a lake with a ripple every time it touches down? It might be a single stone, but 1,000 rings come from it alone, stretching out miles around. Where you gonna touch down? How you gonna reach out? What are you sending out without another thought right now? You're all flying at the speed of sound, always climbing, never losing ground. What's at stake is the splash we make every time we touch down. A man gives time to teach in a village, the kids from there head off to college. It's the work of one, moving on and on. Just like that rock skip across the lake, we send out rings with each choice we make. So pick up your stone and give it a throw. Where you gonna touch down? How you gonna reach out? What are you sending out without another thought right now? I'm flying at the speed of sound, always climbing, never losing ground. What's at stake is the splash we make every time we touch down. Where you gonna touch down? How you gonna reach out? What are you sending out without another thought right now? We're all flying at the speed of sound, always climbing, never losing ground.
Yes, yes. Send him your energy. That was incredible. Wow. Wow. Cassie, you're so talented. Oh, my goodness. I heard some good guitar playing over there, guys. That was wonderful. Yes, you. You ready, Donna?
Yeah.
All right.
Well, I would love the kids to come up, even if you don't know this song, just to feel the love from the congregation.
Sure.
Come on up so that everybody can see all the kids we have today.
Too shy? We got some shy. Oh, here's another one.
So, for those of you that are new to this, we're doing this every month. This is just celebrating the kids that we have in here, and we're singing this song. And I just want to, before we jump into this, I'm going to teach you guys the emotions to this. That song that you guys just played is perfect for what we're doing today, because we're ending the month of this giant gentleness with reaching out to the world, and we're going to be cleaning up trash in the neighborhood today with the kiddos. So, with Earth Day too, just last week. So, really exciting. So here's how these little motions go. So you are the face of God. We hold you in our hearts. You are, you're gonna link your fingers like this, a part of us. You are the face of God. Wow, you guys did that. We're gonna do it again. All right, and we got Colette.
Oh, there we go. Thank you, Dawn, and thanks, guys. That was wonderful. Well, at this time, we'd like to ask our young people wishing to attend our youth program. They are free to head to their classrooms. No, Reverend Chris, you can stay. If you have any questions, we have information table in the back. If you have any, if you want to know about what the happenings, what are going on here at the center. But the biggest thing is this Saturday at 4 o'clock, I want to see everybody. I want you to shout it to the rooftops. I want you to tell everybody in the neighborhood, big signs, that it is our 50th anniversary gala. And this is going to be such a big event. We're so excited. From 4 to 7, we are going to celebrate and raise the roof. We're going to have our own grand rising right here in this center. It's going to be awesome. Are you excited? It's okay. You're the face of God. Yes. Colette's going to have a wonderful song here. I heard her practicing this morning. It's so beautiful. Yeah. Oh, we're on it. Someone's on it.
Oh, okay. So this song, I love how it's fitting with meditation. Everything has been said so far. This song is a new happy baby of mine, based on a reflective writing I wrote many years ago about all the students that I teach in the schools, and thinking about all the different faces. And as a music teacher, you get to see everybody in the school, not just 30 kids in a classroom, but everybody. So it was a lot. And I was very active in the Music Educators Association, and it actually ended up getting published back in 2007. I'm like, you know what, someday I have got to turn that into a song. Yeah, thank you, it was scary. But I thought, someday I'm gonna turn that into a song. That was back in 2007. Finally, a couple of weeks ago, the music came to my head, and thank you, Center for Spiritual Living, Cape Coral, for encouraging me to keep writing more and more songs. Enjoy. And thank you, Cassie, for all the beautiful slides you're about to see. I love seeing all of your faces out there right now, too. I study all the faces, faces that are someone's pride and joy, faces that are young but old, carrying so much history and so much promise. How can a face hold so much? Ah, it is the soul behind and within each face that gives it all its pain and grace. How can they all be so different and yet so much the same? How can we all be so different and yet so much the same? It's like teaching snowflakes, I tell you, beautiful crystalline creatures all looking so similar. Until closer examination reveals their individual beauty and flaws. One or two can delight you, appearing gracefully and gently, commanding full attention from the observer. Combined into a snowstorm, they have a strength all their own, almost unstoppable and able to immobilize us all. At the very least, they slow us down, forcing us to think carefully about our navigation. Where shall we take them, or where will they lead us? Flurries of faces, flurries of souls. Shall we plow them into submission, or gently mold them unto the ideal people they are and can be? In a cold atmosphere, they stay rigid, exposed to loving warmth. They melt to our touch. Strong yet weak, sturdy yet delicate, similar but all very individual. It's like being snowflakes, I tell you. Study all the faces, faces that are someone's pride and joy, faces that are young but old, carrying so much history, containing so much promise.
Wow. All I can say is, wow. That was incredible. Thank you so much. Where's Idalia? Idalia, you ready? Sure she is. I'd like to introduce. You need a tissue? I don't blame you. It was a beautiful song. And those are Cassie's horses in the end. That was beautiful. We'd like to introduce our blessing and our speaker here, Idalia Romero. She's got her tissue. Thank you. You ready? Just a little raw. Thank you, Claudette. Good morning, beloveds. Good morning. Thank you. Just tears. I saw my sister-in-law passed away unexpectedly a week and a half ago. So I saw her face up there, and I was touched, so thank you. That's the greatness of great gentleness. We can all be vulnerable wherever we go, right? And that's the beauty of it all. So thank you for your support today. I didn't know that was going to happen. I was ready. So, as you know, our theme is Grand Rising, and had to rise this last couple of weeks in several moments that we've experienced. So, so grateful for the fact that I can step into that great gentleness. And the topic today, that Reverend Chris is going to share on, the gentle cosmicness is, something for me that's real, really, really, really real. So my world is alive and full of love today because of the journeys that I've had. So I'm grateful for all of that. But anyway, I want to read today from the Science of Mind text because, when I think of cosmic experiences, who else can really put the words together for us but Ernest Holmes. So this is from page 343 in Science of Mind. Cosmic consciousness is not a mystery. It is the self-knowingness of God through man. The more complete the operation of that power, the more complete is man's conscious mentality. For the illumined do not become less, but more themselves. The greater the consciousness of God, the more complete must be the realization of the true self, the divine reality. Illumination will come as man more and more realizes his unity with the whole, and as he constantly endeavors to let the truth operate through him. But since the whole is at the point of the inner mentality, it will be here alone that he will contact it. Speak to him, thou, for he hears. Always in such degree as one has spiritual sense, he realizes universality in his own soul. The great mystics have had that sense and have felt the possibility of an immediate communion with the universal spirit. This essence has run through all theologies and has been the cause of much of their vitality. Theology, with all its weaknesses, has been stronger in its strength than it has been weak in its weakness. But because the vital elements in it have been greater than the devitalizing ones, it would not have lived unless this was true. The only God man knows is the God of his own inner life. He can know no other. To assume that man can know a God outside himself is to assume that he can know something of which he cannot be conscious. This does not mean that man is God. It means that only God that man knows is within. And the only life man has is from within. God is not eternal, but is indwelling at the very center of man's life.
This is why Jesus said that the kingdom of heaven is within, and why he prayed, Our Father, which art in heaven. The great mystics like Jesus have thought that as we enter into the one enters into us and becomes us and is us. They have thought the mystical marriage, the union of the soul of man with the soul of God, and the unity of all life. The great mystics, while sensing this unity, this universality of all things, have also sensed the individualization of being and the individuality of man as a divine reality. Tagore is seeking to explain this, says that the individual is immersed but not lost in nirvana, and he uses that illustration, as an arrow is lost in the mark, still remaining an arrow. The mysticism of Buddha did not teach the annihilation of the soul, but the eternality of an ever-expanding principle of the soul. And I know that without a shadow of doubt today, that connection that we all have to one another and just, the unfoldment of life. I want to end the reading with a little poem that I found in the Unity magazine. I collect them, and once in a while I'll pick them up, and it says, Emerging by Daniel B. Rabant. And he says, overlooking the majesty of light, rippled water embraced by forested green hills and infinite blue sky, I feel the merging of body, mind, and spirit with nature and the universe with God. I am one with all there is. I am one with life itself, and I am in perfect peace. So with that, let's just take a moment and just take all those words in, because we're all connected to this greater essence of everlasting life. So just take, as we hold in the light, take this time to just take an experience and a situation into your heart, into your mind. Embrace them all, knowing this is the part of that great gentleness that we all experience 24/7. So knowing there is only one power and one presence, one mind, one universal knowing, I know this power, this presence is alive. It is living with each and every one of us. It is in each experience that we hold in our hearts today. For I know this voice of God that guides us, that holds us inside of each and every single thing, is what brings us together, what holds us together. That sky above, that earth below, that essence that is always around each and every one of us. For we know that every step we take in the direction that we want to go is that step of united, of being together, of living in that cosmic experience that is all good because it is all God. So today, as we celebrate, as we come together, knowing the highest and the best for every single thing in our lives, we know that everything, there is a continuum, that life itself that just expresses above and beyond every single thing. So we remember this today, for we know that we are it, that we are the thing itself. And the grace of God, the gratitude of God that lives in our hearts today is what bubbles up in this prayer, in this voice, in this life, in this feeling that we feel inside this prayer today. So we just say yes to it all, for we know this service has been delivered perfectly. The words of the actions and the thoughts that have come forth already, and those that will come forth, in the singing and the words and the connection that we experience. So we just say yes to it all. And we just lay this prayer upon that law of God. We just lay it there, for we know the divine essence of God has already delivered it and embraces it and just lets it float into that nothingness. As together we say, and so it is. Amen. So with that, as I always do, I forget. Because we can't forget him. He is the very essence and the joy of my life today. So I am grateful to introduce our Reverend Chris Lahiff. Thank you for being here.
Thanks for being here. Anybody else feel the power in that prayer? Yeah. Idalia is very steeped in the philosophy and prayer, and we are lucky to have you. So thank you, Idalia, for being here, and being a good example for us. Okay, so the first thing I wanted to do is make one last announcement. So we always do the Q&A, Science of Mind, questions and answers on the first Sunday of the month after we celebrate birthdays. Next Sunday, we're going to take a little deviation from it. We're still going to do it, but what we've decided is to create a space for people to come and seek support, be in community together as we process the fact that I made my announcement that I'm going to be moving away. We had this meeting with the practitioners already, and we wanted to extend it to the community. So wherever you're at, if you're having feelings about this, come join us for the Q&A. We're going to have practitioners with us, and it's just meant to be a kind of a healing space, a space to be seen, and I want to invite everybody that would benefit from that or enjoy that to please come do that. And then next, I do want to say one more thank you to Reverend Rick McCollum and the School of Spiritual Leadership, Florida. They hosted their retreat, their spring retreat here over the weekend, and they were so generous to include us in a couple of their activities. So they had the sound bath experience on Friday, which was unbelievable, and then sacred movement, sacred dance yesterday, and followed by a potluck that they had catered in with Olive Garden for us, so that was nice. And other people brought the potluck goods, and it was just an enjoyable time. I've heard so much feedback from our members that said it was wonderful to get to meet the students and comments on the energy and the consciousness that they brought in. So if you're comfortable standing up, can we recognize the School of Spiritual Leadership for Florida campus, and Malika as well. So thank you for being here. Thank you, Malika and Rick, for organizing it and giving our center the opportunity to host you. So, truly a wonderful experience. All right, gentle cosmicness. So I spent a lot of time in the section that Idalia read from. Begins around 341, where Ernest Holmes starts talking about cosmic consciousness moment or experience. And so I thought I would bring that in a little bit, especially for anybody that maybe is not familiar with it. I actually pulled from the same part that you pulled from, too. So, I know. I'll read this quote one more time, just because it never hurts to kind of, reiterate. It says, by cosmic consciousness, we mean one's consciousness of their unity with the whole. This is not a mystery, however, but the self-knowingness of God through people. Illumination will come as people realize their unity with the whole more and more, as they constantly endeavor to let the truth operate through them. And so we practice, and we seek, and we recognize. And some people, I don't know why, I don't know how, but some people get the gift of a cosmic consciousness moment. And I was going to share the words. So Ernest Holmes, in the book, he talks about somebody named Richard Maurice Buck. And this man passed away like 1902-ish, but before he did, he had a cosmic consciousness experience. And he wrote about it, and Ernest Holmes is very inspired. He mentioned several other people that had one. Essentially, it's like a Satori experience, and I'm just gonna read and let you know. There's a reason why I'm bringing this all in. So this is the words of Maurice Buck, and being a writer and poet in the late 1800s, he referred to himself in the third person. So when he's saying he's talking about himself. So this is his recount of what happened. It was early in the spring, at the beginning of his 36th year, and he and two friends had spent the evening reading Wordsworth, Shelley, Keats, Browning, and especially Whitman. They parted at midnight, and he had a long drive in a hansom, and it was an English city. His mind, deeply under the influence of the ideas, images, and emotions called up by the reader in talk of the evening, was calm and peaceful. He was in a state of quiet, almost passive enjoyment. And all at once, without warning of any kind, he found himself wrapped around, as it were, by a flame-colored cloud. For an instant, he thought of fire, some kind of sudden conflagration in the great city. The next, he knew that the light was within himself. Directly afterwards came upon him a sense of exultation, of immense joyousness, accompanied or immediately followed by an intellectual illumination quite impossible to describe. Into his brain streamed one momentary lightning flash of the Brahmic splendor which has ever since lightened his life. Upon his heart fell one drop of Brahmic bliss, leaving thenceforward for always an aftertaste of heaven. Among other things he did not come to believe, he saw and knew that the cosmos is not dead matter, but a living presence, that the soul of man is immortal, that the universe is so built and ordered that without any peradventure, all things work together for the good of each and all, that the foundation principle of the world is what we call love, and that happiness of everyone is in the long run absolutely certain. So that'll tie into the Ernest Holmes, what we believe, in a moment. But the reason I bring it up is it's reassuring. So throughout history, we've had many people. I actually went on Reddit and read through a thread of people that have experienced cosmic consciousness. And, this happens, it still continues to happen. It's the nod that the universe gives us to reassure us of what we are. If it wasn't for this experience, I would not be here today. This is the gift that I was given, and everything that Buck's shared here is what I want to bring in, is this idea that you hear me say it all the time, love with a capital L, that is all that matters. That's the only thing in the entire universe. And the reason why it's important is because we are here to experience that, but to know it. In that state of cosmic consciousness, you feel it. You know that all it is love. But you wouldn't know it if you didn't have this experience of being in the physical reality of duality. Here, we get to experience love and everything that seems to be the opposite of it. And that's the beauty and the magic of the universe, is because love is all that matters. Love is all that exists. So everything in this world that appears to be different than love, it's love in disguise to remind us of what we are, to help us choose what we are, and then to know it. Because if that was all we experienced, we wouldn't know it. And that's the gift of the infinite knowingness of consciousness that created this experience for us throughout this entire universe. So much today, the meditation, the music, we are that. We are the stardust. Our very origins, as Mel was sharing, as Einstein pointed out, we are cosmic stardust here in reality. The atoms in our body existed in stars before Earth was even formed. And they've exploded and gone on. And at some point, it's possible that Earth will get caught up in one of those explosions, and these atoms and molecules will continue on somewhere else. It's eternal. But our consciousness, in the same way that our thought and our imagination holds zero limitations. Is there anything that you are not allowed to imagine? Anything that you can't imagine? The mind is infinite, and here we are. So what are we going to do with it? This touchdown. Where are we going to touch down? What are we going to leave? So Friday night when we did the sound bath, Donna, as she was introducing us, and as I say this, I'm also recognizing that I'm probably misquoting her terribly, and it's kind of common, like a lot of times, people hear what they need to hear, and it's always funny because like I give talks and people will come up and say, I loved when you said this and that, and I'm like, oh great, as I'm thinking in my mind, like I never said that. But it's perfect because whatever I do say, that's the beauty of the individual use of that infinite mind. We get what we need. And she said something to the effect of we're here in space creating a vessel vessel for our being. We're in our bodies. It's a vessel for our individual being. That's part of that greater being. So what are you inviting in? How are you going to touch down? What are you going to do? Because it's all connected. And that really, made me think about, what do I consume? What media? And then sitting here in the sound bath, why don't I do more of this? Because that's inviting in intentional vibration and peace and spirit. That's how we shift our individual consciousness, and that's how we shift our shared consciousness. So this idea, I've just, this entire month, it speaks to the essence of what I am striving to be. So when I stand up here and I sound preachy, I don't want you to think I'm telling you what to do. I'm telling myself what to do, and if something resonates with you and it gives you inspiration, then that's wonderful. But all month long, this is a recurring theme to me that I have continue to see the humanness in everybody, especially those that I disagree with, especially those in times like where I get very adamant about what I'm disagreeing of. It's the perfect opportunity. That's how the universe works. We can't have a protagonist unless we have an antagonist. It's a perfect system to give us what we need and what we seek. And so all month long, I've just loved how do we respond with gentleness in the face of adversity, in the face of aggression, and easier said than done, but that is what we have to do in order to create the shift in consciousness that we talk about, to create the catchphrase that Centers for Spiritual Living has been using for many years now, to create a world that works for everyone. We have to start to think differently than we've ever thought before. And it's not to say that what's happened up before is all bad. It's all led us here. So in that big thing, in that cosmic consciousness place, there is no good or bad. There just is. And it's all to teach us, to show us the good, to appreciate it, to dwell in that place of infinite love. And here, we get the opportunities to choose it. So I thought one thing that I wanted to take a moment for this last week of the month, is to just give some more examples. I've been dropping hints or examples all month long about ways that gentleness, one, it's not a weakness, it's a strength, but how it benefits us individually. And there's been examples in life. So in the idea of Ubuntu in Africa, it's the concept of I am because you are. I can't exist unless you exist. And so one of the powerful examples was in South America, there's several villages, or South Africa, there's several villages that practice this. When somebody makes a transgression or shows up in a way that's not conducive to the group, they call him in. They don't call him out, they call him in, or they call the person in. They have him in the center of the village, and they surround him with everybody else in the village for 2 days straight. And they just repeat and say over and over all the good things that this person's done. And they do it for 2 days. And the idea is that through affirmation and unity, transformation happens in a better way than in shame and punishment. And now we see this play out in the real world. And this is one of my favorite examples. And it gets a lot of blowback, but I want to look at the reason why it would be worth considering more deeply. And I know it is being considered more deeply. But in Norway, the example is the prison system in Norway. In the 1990s, they had a very high crime rate in Norway. And the recidivism rate, for anybody that's not familiar, that's the rate where people get released from prison and then end up back into prison, repeat offenses. The recidivism rate at that point was 72%. It's right at where the United States is, 72% within 3 years. Within 9 years, it goes up to about 83% of everybody that's been in prison ends up back in prison. So Norway did something. They thought to respond with gentleness as opposed to punishment and inflicting pain. They said, what if we call people in? And so they created a new prison system that instead of having one large central prison that everybody had to go to one central place, they put little prisons all over the country so that everybody that goes to prison is in their community. And they get to have visitors 3 times a week. They have a room that's private to themselves. They have a private bathroom. They have a TV on the wall. They have access to classes, to workshops, to addiction counseling. They are treated like human beings who have made mistakes, as opposed to being treated like animals. Because when we have that mentality of what we've been doing for eons as humanities, that eye for an eye kind of thing, you did the most horrible thing, therefore we're going to do the most horrible thing to you that we are allowed to by law, whatever limit for whatever crime. And it's the exact same energy going right back at it. And we're not going to shift consciousness if we continue to perpetuate that idea. And the beauty of that is when we experience it, and what Norway is experiencing, the recidivism rate is 20% after that. People feel recognized, and when they get out, they want to do better. When we tell somebody they're an animal and we see them as an animal, they're going to act like animals because they feel like an animal. And so the gentle giantess, in the long run, the blowback that I get on the Norway discussion is that, well, they did wrong. They have to be punished. But what's our end goal? Is our end goal to eliminate repeat crime? Is it to save money? All of these things happen when we eliminate that recidivism rate. So we've got a lot of overhaul to do in the United States and worldwide. I mean, really, Norway is like the front runner. There's not a whole lot more that follow that I know of. However, we are starting in the United States to take note. It's an uphill battle, but it's approaching. And I watched a really cool video that was about, in California, a woman that's really putting this into effort, and what they're seeing is people waking up to their beauty, to their consciousness of what they are as human beings. So the gentle giant, how do we bring more love in? How do we recognize that every single thought that we have is a prayer? Every single action that we take has a ripple effect. Every single one. And it takes practice and it takes intention to get beyond our, I don't know if it's instinct, but it's our conditioned response, our reaction to life. And that's why I love Center for Spiritual Living, because people that I meet, we are thinking forward. How do we shift this world? And it's one thought at a time, it's one practice at a time, it's one act of kindness at a time. And again, like I'm preaching to myself. I wish I could say that I'm there, that every time I see something that I immediately go to, yeah, but they're human, and I bless them, and how do we call them in instead of calling them out? But each time I think about it, it's one more time getting closer, and that's where we're at in this world for those of us that are choosing. And it can be daunting when we look out there and we see, how do we overcome when other people still insist on going the old way, that the only way to get our way across is by might makes right. That's a challenge. So how do we still protect ourselves, encourage what we want to see without becoming what it is that we're trying to not see? And that takes effort. So our spiritual principle of the week, and I chose this one from What We Believe because of it ends up in the exact same way that Buck told us that the happiness of everyone is in the long run absolutely certain. That I know, because there's nothing else, there's nowhere else to go, there's nothing else to do. We will exit this life, we will know our oneness with it all, and maybe reincarnate again and get more experiences like this, more chances to choose love over anger. But what Ernest Holmes tells us in the We Believe the ultimate goal of life to be a complete freedom from all discord of every nature, and that this goal is sure to be attained by all. Very comforting. In the teaser, I used the quote from the movie Evan Almighty, and just to remind us of the gifts and the power and the idea of life happening to or for us instead of to us. So in Evan Almighty, he asks God, and he says, why am I impatient? I need to be more patient and loving. And God says, well, if you ask God for patience, am I going to grant you patience, or am I going to give you opportunities to be patient? And it says it all, because that's what every opportunity is. Again, that idea, without an antagonist, we can't have a protagonist. So everybody that reacts to you, that brings vitriol to you, all of that, that's you being called into a higher expression. And so instead of getting angry at that, we can bless it and thank you, like, thank you for the reminder that I want to be bigger than this, that I want to be love. What can I do for you? Clearly, you have something that you could use help with. Can I help you? If not, then I can just hold the best for you while still holding my truth and protecting in that. So then our spiritual practice is direct revelation. The cosmic consciousness moment, it happens spontaneously for some people. It happens through practice, meditation for others. It happens through psychedelics for others. But revelation happens. And it's the idea, in the Bible, knock on the door and the door shall be opened unto you. So our practice is to seek that, to experience and invite it within. So we contemplate ourselves as the universe. Sit, meditate, close your eyes, and just imagine your space around you expanding, and imagining yourself expanding further beyond that until you can see yourself out beyond the planet Earth and feel that in, and just imagining your essence blending in with that. We cultivate that idea, and cosmic consciousness can arise for anyone. And whether it's in a Satori moment or it's in little bits and pieces, it wants to operate through us. And that's why we're here, or at least I assume a lot of us are here for that. We're seeking that greater experience, and it wants to share that with us. So we invite it in to heal or to reveal us, and inviting gentle guidance towards gentleness. So then the affirmation is the universe is alive as love itself. So if you will join me in that and know it and feel it as you. This is literal. You are the universe. I am the universe. We get this wonderful experience of individuality. A lot of people, when they start learning about this idea of oneness, that we are one, and feel it in the cosmic consciousness, it can feel like we're getting lost within it, but it's the opposite. When you experience it and feel it, the you that is you is actually expanded and experienced in deeper ways. So let's say this affirmation together if you're on board. It is, the universe is alive as love itself. It's love itself. So with that, let's take it into prayer. Just affirming and knowing there is only one. If I pull back far enough out of this universe, it is inarguably the truth that there is only one universe, one multiverse, however we see it, but it is all one. I am that. Every person that hears these words is that. It is the impulse of the universe to express and experience itself through us. So each individual is the absolute center of their universe, and everything that is experienced and visualized without all is a projection from what's within. So deepest knowing of love with a capital L, that is constant nourishment, constant support, constant reaffirmation that we are never alone, that we will never cease to be, that we will always expand and experience more of this universe of infinite blessing that it is. So I affirm and avow that there is a strength within that enables each of us to alchemize the painful moments of our life and turn them into the moments of growth and opportunity that lead us into more compassion, more kindness, more love, more sharing, more peace on this planet that can only come through choice, through intention, through that impulse that is within. That still small voice that whispers to each and every one of us, letting us know that we are powerful beings creating shift on this planet, And when we hold true to what we experience, that is the universe that we project. So compassion for others one day turns into compassion for ourselves. When we learn to gently forgive, we allow ourselves to be gently forgiven. For each and every one of us are here for our many various reasons to teach one another, one day being the villain and one day being the hero, knowing that we share in this with each other in order to call each other home. So gratitude for the law that takes these words, gratitude for this amazing, powerful, physical existence that we get to experience. I say thank you for it all, knowing that every single bit of it is a gift. So with that gratitude, I release these words knowing that as I do, it is already done in the mind of spirit. It is now simply us to create this shift, experience it, allow it, and celebrate it together as we say, and so it is. So it is. So thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Colette. Thank you. Thank you. So it is that time again, volunteer of the month for May, and had to be on a day that he's not here, but that's okay. Happens a lot. We want to say congratulations to John Williams of the Big Love Band because he's... All right, John. I'll have to send him an email to let him know he's got the parking spot for a month. Oh, and happy birthday, John, if you watch this later. So John so tirelessly and joyfully gives his service to the Big Love Band for us, and he's here pretty much every weekend and rightfully deserves a weekend off, especially on his birthday. So thank you, John Williams, for being our volunteer of the month. Speaking of volunteers, we are looking for somebody that wants to deliver some food to the community co-op. Our bins have been overflowing, and the PB&J drive, I think, was a hit, so we've got a lot donated to that. And I believe our regular person that has been taking it hasn't been able to recently. So if anybody feels called to take some bins out there and deliver them for us, that's a sacred service opportunity. All right, so this is the time of the service where we offer our thanks individually, and we receive our gifts collectively, just knowing that what goes around comes around, and that we are blessed and supported for another 50 years as we all share together. So we have many ways to give. I like to text the support. The donate button on the website works well. I do have to give a heads up, the mobile website we're working on. It's got some issues, but I think you can still get to the donate button. But on laptop or desktop, it works well. And then, of course, we have our wonderful greeters and hosts today to pass around baskets, and you can also include your prayer requests, which we know prayer works, and you can always mail it to us as well. And we have an affirmation that we like to say, so taking your gift in mind and heart, or maybe even in your hand, and just say this together. We say, today, I know the activity of divine abundance is at work in my life and the life of this center. I give and receive generously as I live in the flow of bountiful good. Thank you. Big Love Band.
Standing as one in the presence of the power, standing where others have stood. Gladly we offer the
multiplied, pressed down, and flourishing for the next 50 years. Every giver is blessed, every receiver is strengthened, and love flows through every single contribution of time, treasure, and talent. So in gratitude, we say thank you, and so it is. One last reminder before we go. So yes, potluck today, but while we're setting up for potluck, if you can do that, if you're on that team or volunteer to be on the team today as quietly as possible, because up front, we're going to have our community meeting, our monthly community meeting. So if there's anything that you want to hear about, what's the center's up to, our president, Melissa Arterberry, is going to be facilitating that, and it's a good way to find out what we're doing. So stick around for that, and then it works out perfectly that the timing, when everything's ready for that, the meeting's over, and then we sit down and break bread together. I'll let you take it over from here.
That was awesome. Let us make your day. Don't leave without your 1-minute miracle. Practitioners will be available right here in front of the stage or in breakout rooms immediately following the service. And I know I'm going to see each and every one of you on Saturday as we celebrate 50 years as a center. It's so exciting. But we'll see you. Have a great week, everyone. Let's go.